So it only takes a weekend getaway, a holiday, or a couple of celebratory parties before you turn into the Stay Puft Man. Bloated, distended, uncomfortable feeling in your belly, and maybe your bowels are a little bit clogged up. You recall reading about others doing something called a master cleanse and losing 5 to 10 pounds in 3 days. You're thinking to yourself, this is just what I need. Off to the kitchen you go. Water, check. Food grade castor oil, check. I will leave the brand that I use down in the description below. Ginger tea bag, check. Lemons, bonus, check. Just stop. Before you drink this thick mixture of flat belly promise in a glass, there are a few things you should know and do before you take that first sip in order to get the best results out of this cleanse, such as how long should you do the cleanse, and one crucial step you should undertake to get the best effects. Ingesting castor oil causes a complete intestinal emptying. Castor oil is antibacterial. It's going to see all of the terrible yuckiness that is within you, and it's going to get rid of it, as well as reduce the spread of additional yuckies. I started doing castor oil cleanses over 10 years ago after having an ovarian tumor removed. I can attest that it is a nice way to reset and tame a very disrespectful belly, revealing a flatter belly free of excess gas, bloat, and waste, without negative side effects if done correctly. First and foremost, make sure you're not allergic to castor oil by doing a skin test. Place a small portion on the inside of your wrist, wait a few hours, and assess if you experience any itching, rash, burning sensations, or anything else that's outside of the norm. If your skin does not look the way it did before you put the castor oil on it, then you're allergic to it. Next first thing, this cleanse needs to be done on an empty stomach. Do not go eating a plate of lasagna or having a bowl of ice cream and then an hour or so later think, oh yeah, I would like to do a castor oil cleanse. No, that's not how it works. Don't do it unless you are okay with puking. It's best to do this cleanse first thing in the morning on an empty stomach, or if you do it in the evening, wait at least 4 hours after your last meal. Are you willing to wait until your belly is empty before doing this cleanse? If so, we can move on to how long should you do the castor oil cleanse. There are 2 possibilities available to you. Option 1 involves mixing 1 tablespoon of castor oil with 1 cup of warm water. This dosage is super strong, and because it's super strong, it should really only be done for 1 day, not 3 days, unless you are under the supervision of a professional medical practitioner. I repeat, only do this 1 day unless you are being supervised by a medical professional. It is super strong. Taking 1 tablespoon of castor oil is so very powerful. It's super effective. You know, think about it like a colonoscopy prep. We take those bottles of what I can only describe as and the effects of it is so strong that it flushes us so that by the end of the day, we are no longer expelling fecal matter. Instead, only liquid water, clear, is coming through. That is what 1 tablespoon of castor oil will do for you. So there is no need to do multiple days in a row unless you're under the advice, counsel of a supervised medical professional. It should pretty much clean out everything. It will flush you out. Now, option 2, you may like that a little bit better. It may be a little bit more enticing to you if you prefer a gentler approach that will not keep you hemmed up in the bathroom for the majority of the day. With option 2, you take only 1 teaspoon of castor oil and it should be added to a glass of warm water over the course of 2 to 3 days. It should still only be taken on an empty stomach. This dosage is gentler and it will result in fewer, less urgent trips to the bathroom, allowing you to, go about your day and live life. So does option 1 or option 2 sound more appealing to you? Now, I wish I could tell you that you could wake up tomorrow morning and just do the cleanse. I'm afraid I won't be able to do that. I've seen far too many folks try this cleanse only to see minor improvements, gain more weight, and not get rid of like the excess fecal matter and water retention that they wanted to get rid of. And why is that? This cleanse isn't meant to be a quick fix remedy. It has real healing potential when it's done correctly. I've been doing it for over 10 years now. Let's go back to the example of the colonoscopy. If you haven't had one, consider yourself fortunate for now. It is something that just happens to be routine once you hit 30s, 40s, and 50s and beyond before you show up for that colonoscopy procedure. Before drinking the preparatory solution stuff, there are dietary changes that you need to put into place in order for that prep drink to be the most effective and for overall overall good imaging during the actual exam. There's nothing worse than drinking glasses of that colon prep. Going to the doctor, undergoing the entire procedure, and then coming out having the doctor tell you need to reschedule, do it again because they couldn't get a clear image because you didn't do the prep correctly. Before doing the castor oil cleanse, 2 to 3 day prep prior is recommended. However, you can get away with doing 1 day of prep. Processed foods, caffeine, refined sugars, refined wheat, canned foods, and dairy all should be avoided prior to doing a colon cleanse. During your 2-3 day prep, eat as much simple, whole, natural foods as possible. Fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes, nuts, and seeds. What should you do after the cleanse to keep that beautiful, happy belly feeling? I will cover that in a follow-up video. For the time being, focus on these healthy eating habits for a flat belly without worrying about calories in, calories out.